I apologize in advance. I'm a little under the weather right now. I probably sound like a depressed sort of Macho Man Randy Savage. But, I'm 1v1 in this cold, and unfortunately it's on the red bar, so, I'm going to lose no matter what. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some concerns that I had about the big announcement they had recently. And naturally, as all of you guys no doubt have heard, there's a Destiny sequel confirmed in 2017. We know there's going to be a big expansion coming later on this year in 2016, and there's going to be a spring DLC coming out probably in the next 2 months. And though it was a very vague description and just a couple sentences strung together, there's a lot of information to read and a lot of areas for you to be like, okay, so this is probably what's going to happen. And I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about how I think this is going to plan out. And as soon as I heard the information, naturally, I was excited and, hyped. I'm like, yes, any content is good content. Thankfully, we're finally getting something. They've been teasing us. They've starved us of content for the last 5 months. And now we're actually getting a meal. Not these little nibbles. We're getting a full-blown meal. And that's what this community has been wanting for so long. So I stopped. I took a moment. And I'm naturally just shady and skeptical because I'm like, wait, how can they screw this up? And I thought of something. Many of us, at least I and a lot of other people, have heard rumors and leaked sources that Destiny 2 was actually coming out at the end of this year, and it was almost all but confirmed for a lot of people. And then things started to shift. Some people were hearing rumors that Destiny 2 was being postponed until next year, and we don't know what was ever going on, but something hit me really, really hard. A lot of us have been frustrated and extremely toxic in the community, to be honest, about the state of Destiny over the last 5 months. The fact that this live team can not really sustain our cravings for game content because they haven't given us game content. We haven't had new guns, we haven't had any of that new stuff, and because of that, the whole community's kind of been in a tiff. Outside of the guys that don't play too often, most of us have been completely upset with the state of Crucible, the lag, the issues, and the lack of PvE content. And with this, I came to the understanding that, wait, if Destiny 2 is not actually coming out, that means, oh shit, it's a lot of us are holding out like 6 months. Okay, we can make it happen, especially if a DLC's coming. And then it hit me. I'm like, best case scenario, Destiny 2, the sequel, comes out probably March, April of 2017. But I have a feeling that it's actually going to come out probably in September. So best case scenario, a lot of us have been upset for the last 5 months about the current state of Destiny. We have at least another year until we probably have dedicated servers or any real substantial changes to the game that's going to make people happy. There's going to be content added, but as for the problems being resolved and stuff like that, you cannot hold your breath. That's probably not going to be resolved, or at least even attempted to be resolved, until Destiny 2 comes out. And best case, like I said, is March. And you got to break down what they said in this. Now, what we know in spring is a DLC is coming, and it looks to be on the scale of the Dark Below sort of DLC from year one. They are talking about light level increases. So with that, that means they're going to bring in 20, 30 new legendary weapons that are going to fill all of those different types of guns that are out there. So we're going to get a lot of new weapons. We should get 3 to 4 PvP maps. If it's the same scale, we should be looking at least on a large scale PvE experience with a couple strikes trickling in there somewhere. And if all works out, hopefully a raid, but who knows? And of course, with all of that change, we should get new exotics and stuff too, to add and extend to the replayability of the game. And I'm all for that. That's exciting news. And that's coming in spring. Now, what we know is this Crimson Days was their small update. This was defined as a large update. And then they also said an expansion's coming later in 2016. And to me, when I hear the word expansion, especially seeing as how what they just defined is just a large update, which was what a DLC was last year, that makes me think that the expansion that's coming out later this year is going to be on the scale of the Taken King. Now, that may be exciting for all of you because I thought the Taken King was absolutely phenomenal. But if that is the case, I highly doubt that Destiny 2 will come out in Q1 like a lot of people are expecting. So either way, how it's going to go down is we're going to get the DLC in spring. Then sometime around September, we'll probably get this expansion. And then if we're lucky, if it's not as large scale as the Taken King, then we should probably get Destiny 2, springtime of 2017. But if it is as large as the Taken King was, you can expect that Destiny 2 will be postponed until September of 2017. That's a whole year and a half until we have any chance at proper connections and a lot of solutions to many problems that have plagued the game for a long time. And that understanding scared me. It's just an observation. This is all theory, not to get you concerned, but I think best case scenario, we have another year before we get some of those Crucible experiences solved. But either way you look this down, it's looking to be that every 6 months we should have a new installation of the game. So PvE content from here on out, this is pretty much giving us a roadmap. So expect new content every 6 months. I know a lot of people are not happy about that because the live team's been in there trying to keep us satisfied and they've not been really hitting the mark. So this is going to upset a lot of people because you've seen exactly how kind of destructive the community has been over the last 5 months. Understand that we're going to get an update here in a month, 2 months, and then we're not going to see anything again for that same amount of period. And it's up to them to sustain the community's hunger throughout that period. And if it's been this bad in 5 months, we have another year at minimum to look forward to the same experience. Whatever model they have implemented this year, we will see the same thing thrown into next year if that comes true. And that's something that just kind of struck me all of a sudden. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if that's going to be good enough for a lot of people. It's really going to have to deliver because as of right now, we know the Eververse funds the live team to create things like Crimson Days and Sparrow Racing League. Another thing to think about, and I want your feedback and opinions on this in the comment section, is I honestly believe that this DLC coming out in spring will be paid for. I don't know what it is, but if it is to the scale of the Dark Below, I would have to assume, though a lot of people are probably expecting this next DLC to be free, I cannot see them not taking the opportunity to throw a price tag on it. They sold us a damn book for Sparrow Racing League to keep track of our stats. This is definitely going to be something I expect to pay for here in a month or two. And, you know, honestly, it's okay to me. I will pay for content as long as content is there and it's base game content. So if that means new light levels, new things to grind for, yeah, you could take my 20 bucks. That's fine by me. I don't know, because they've starved us for content for a while. A lot of people are desperate and they just want anything right now. So they could probably even raise that price up to 30 bucks if they want to. And people will, in fact, cave in and get it. And to me, that's perfectly okay. Not to mention, if that big expansion comes out, they saw the success, they tested it out, and in my opinion, though it may not have been called Destiny 2, The Taken King was sufficient enough content to be called Destiny 2 and be a standalone game. So I expect that big expansion that comes out to also be raised up to 60 bucks compared to the 40 bucks that The Taken King was. So, though this was an awesome announcement, we finally have a little bit of transparency from them, which is exciting. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to knock on this at all. I mean, we have confirmation of content. Real live content, it exists, and I'm stoked for it. But the announcement of this has raised my suspicions towards other things. This means, best case scenario, we have to wait a whole nother year until the Crucible is where we want it to be, until they can even attempt, if they do come online with dedicated servers and they actually get something together, because I feel like they've hit a wall there. The Crucible experience has been crazy. You know how slow they are at actually getting closer and closer to balance, and you know, I'm just really concerned with those areas, because I'm a PvP player first. I love the PvE, but PvP is where the replayability is for me in this game, because that's where the experiences change. You can only do so many raids and strikes out the week, and without it getting stale, in my opinion at least, from my experiences. So that's how I feel. I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think this DLC coming out in spring is going to have a price tag on it? Do you think they're going to charge you for it? Do you think that it's going to be March of next year that we get Destiny 2? Or do you think that the big expansion this year is going to be like the Taken King 2, if you will, and then we really won't see Destiny 2 until September of 2017? Drop your opinions down in the comment section below, guys. Thanks for being here. Subscribe if you're new here, and I'll keep you up to date on all Destiny-related information. Stay moist, guys.